All right, so today we're going to look at more CSS. Yeah, CSS is a lot. Like it's a lot. It depends on your practice, but it is very interesting if you sit down and try out the new things. Yeah, you can create animations. You can create things like images. You can create a lot of things. The things you can't even think about that CS can do, it can do them. Yeah, so today we're just going to look at one of the layout models. There are very many, yeah, but the way you lay out content on your page is what we're going to look at. And what we're going to look at is called a flex box. Yeah, it's a certain layout model. Just testing here. Yeah, so it's a certain layout model which allows you to group your content in a certain way, then you display it on the screen. Then with that, we shall also like slightly look at what they call media queries. Now, media queries allows you to, they allow you to design what they call responsive website. A responsive website. What is a responsive website? A responsive website is one where you maybe on a very big screen, the images will adjust accordingly, even the content. But when you're on the phone, also the website changes automatically. Yeah, most of the websites are responsive. Maybe we can try out, okay, let's try out W3 schools and we see what we're talking about. You see now I'm on a screen which is about 15.6 inches. Yeah, but I'm just going to imagine that maybe I'm on a tablet. Yeah, I'm going to adjust the screen size, like the window of the Chrome. Hope you can see it. You see, when I try to increase, there is a way content is laid out. We can see the button is here. So navigation website is here. Then where you code from is this side. Now let me try to reduce it. Imagine I have like a tab. So you see everything is like adjusting accordingly. Now, what if I'm viewing it with a phone? Because the phone will be like this small. Yeah. So you see for the phone, it will hide the menu, putting it around here. Then it's going to hide some content. Yeah. Some buttons are hidden. Then this one's going to become smaller. Then now you can see that when I'm scrolling through, it actually looks nice. Yeah. Everything is like on a maximum width. But when I try to go back to the bigger screen, now I can see they are laid out in two columns in different rows. Yeah. But when I go back to a very small screen and I try to scroll down, you can see even these other ones are on maximum width. So that's what they call responsive website designing. So there are different things that allows you to do that. But one of them is called media queries. We're going to look at it, but not so deep. Why? Because developing responsive websites, we're going to be concentrating more on Bootstrap. So once you learn Bootstrap, you may stop worrying about media queries. Why? Because for Bootstrap, it does it in a different way and even an easier way. Yeah. So those are two things that we're going to look at. Yeah. So we have uh, two files here. I have the index.html, then I have a CSS folder which has style.css. So my CSS is going to be written here, then my HTML is going to be written here. Yeah, so what is a flexbox? Now there are other models we can search here. All the information is available online. Yeah, so we have flexbox. Then we also have another one called delete. Then we have others, but these two. There's also box layout, but now I'm comparing these two. There's flexbox versus the grid. Yeah, so let me go to images. So here you can see that a flexbox average screens. Yeah, but a grid is kind of more complex, but mostly used when you're developing for very large screens and even advanced like content. Yeah, so for us, we're just going to go with the flex box. Yeah, you can see the grid stretches in the X and Y. That is the grid. Then in flex box, it will allow us to either choose whether we're doing just column or whether we're doing row. So it allows us to do row and column. Then there's another one that allows you to only do column. That is a box layout. It allows you to only do columns or to only do horizontally or vertically. Yeah. So we're just going to look at Flexbox. Then this, what you're seeing, these are bars, but it is you placing content. So this can be an image. Then here you have maybe a paragraph and also an image this side. Yeah. So let's go into it. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a big container and I'm going to make it a container that like wraps around all my other content or all my other div or sections. Yeah, so I have this one and I'm going to give it a class. Technically, it's called a flex container, the one that is going to house all my other content. So I can call it maybe container, just container. Uh, Keith, you can't, let me hope others can hear me clearly. Yeah, because maybe check on your side. Yeah, Shuma, I'm audible enough. Okay, thanks. Yeah, so we have this container that is going to house other containers. So these other containers will be content. So I already told you now, since we're using CSS, we're putting most of our content in div. Eh? Even if you're going to write a paragraph, put it inside div so that you can easily style it. So this is going to house other items that we have. So I'm going to put like 3 boxes or 4. Let me just start with 3. So that will be 1. Then this is going to be the second one. Then I put the third one. Yeah, so those are 3. Then I'll be having content inside here. So let me give them classes so that I can style them also separately. So I can call this one box 1. Then I can call this one box 2. Then I call this one box 3. All right, so within this, we're going to be having some content. Yeah, so let me just use heading, like heading 3 and a paragraph. Just a simple heading 3 and a paragraph. Yeah, so heading 3 that can say box 1. Then I have a paragraph that is talking about something. Yeah, maybe this is a paragraph in heading, no, in box 1. Yeah, then here we can have also heading 3. Then this is box 2. Okay. So I can as well have some paragraph, and this one I'm going to make it a little bit longer. This is a paragraph found in section. Okay, in box 2, which is one of the sections in flex container. I just wanted to have more content. Yeah, so you can have any other thing, whether it's an image, but now let's just demonstrate on simple things like headings. So this is box 3. Yeah, then I can put just very short. This is heading 3. This is box 3. Yeah, just like that. So now let's check our site. Okay, it's like this. So what I'm going to do, since I'm calling them box, a border around them. So we come back here, we come to style.css. Then I'm going to use a pseudo select, but I want the divs within that class container. MLPT is container. Yeah, we've called it container. We can add flex container just to distinguish them. That's how it is called technically, but now here it is just a class name. It doesn't mean anything. So dot flex container. Then I don't want to do, okay, I will apply for that. Now let me create another one dot flex container, but I want the divs within the flex container. So it's going to style these ones. Yeah, so I'm going to put a border around them. And for the border, I need a size. So I'm going to give 1 pixel. Then I need the color. So let me choose this kind of color. Then I need to, it's going to be solid. You can use dashed lines. You can use what? Yeah, anything. One. So it's not yet displaying. Let's see. Border. Okay, we shall check out. Then also I'm going to give a padding of 10 pixels. Yeah, so now it's not working. Yeah, why? Because we've not yet connected the CSS to our HTML. So let's connect it. So we have link relationship is a style sheet. Then we have the type of the file is a text, but it is a CSS file. Then we have its source, which is found in CSS. Then we're using style.css. Yeah, so right now you can see that our boxes are coming. Yeah, so I want to align them. The padding of 10 I given is it leaves some 10 pixels here and bottom and top. Yeah. So what if I want them to be side by side? Because this, if it is a small screen, okay, the content is not a lot to just, yeah, it will just be fine. We've not yet put a lot of content, but in case I want them to be side by side, then this my container, this one that is containing all my items, this one here, I need to say that's come inside this. The class is called a flex container. So I use the selector, which is dot flex container. Yeah, then I come and apply what they call display. Yeah, so just say display, then just say flex. Yeah, not flex box, just flex. So when you go back and check, now you can see that these are side by side. Yeah, but the size of the boxes are given according to the content. Now this one has a big paragraph. Yeah, so you can see that it is having more width than others. So when you try to reduce the size, yeah, it just gets the column just get thick. We need to do more styling. It's not yet good. Okay. Now, if you want to play around with width, yeah, I can come here to my individual boxes. Yeah, now I have box 1, box 2, box 3. I'll need to style all of those, like separate in case I need to. So I'm going to create their selectors. That is box 1, box 2. These are name of the classes that I gave them. And this is box 3. So these are now items of the flex box. Yeah. So in order for you to play around with its width, you can say that this is flex and it takes like 1. You're going to see the difference. If we give also this one flex, then we say 1. Then also this one flex, then we say 1. And we come back. So you're going to see that they are sharing, they are all having the same width. Yeah, regardless of the content. Yeah, now if I come and say maybe the one at the first one and I put flexbox 3, you see it's going to take more width than others. Yeah, so it can go up to around flex 6. It's about the like the columns. We shall see more when we go to Bootstrap. Yeah, so if we add it to like 3, you're going to see that it's going to consume more width like that. So we're going to leave it 1. Okay, let's leave this to 1. Then this one, the one in the middle, we give it 2. Yeah, so that is one thing that you can do with yeah, this one we've given it 2, then this one we've given it 1. Yeah, so that is the first thing you can do with flex items. Then another thing is that, fine, we've said these items are what? We've said display all my boxes under flex. Then there are more other properties, a lot of properties that you need to go and exhaust on your own. But I'm going to give you some. One of them is called align items. So I can say align items. Then you have all these. If I say, I can say flex, let's say flex start. If you choose flex start, it's going to align your items at the, like at the start, like it's going to ensure that these ones which are small will just occupy that. Then these ones, now you can see the one that is going to another line, it has more height. Yeah, so that is flex start. If it is flex, there is also flex end. Like that. Now you can see that more, it is now these ones are going at the end. Then this one that has more content it has more height, but now it is visible on the top. Yeah, so by default, it has align items to stretch in case you don't change. So you can see if we give stretch and check out, it is the same as what we have. If you say center, they're just going to be in the center, and this is how it's going to look like. Yeah, so let's leave it to stretch. Yeah, so that they are like that. Now there are more other properties. There's one that is called justify content. Yeah, so I can justify content, like the justification of what, the way it works. I can justify the content to, like to the left. Let's try to the left. Then I save this. So you'll see that more. Just at here, we have small content, but it has justified all the content to the left. Then there is another one where you can say that justify content and say put space around. Yeah, so this one will put space around the items. Then there's also space between. Yeah, so now according to the boxes that we have, you can't see a very big difference, but what it's about the way it leaves space between the content that you have. Yeah, so you go and exhaust more. Like from MDN, you can exhaust more about the properties for the flex box. Yeah, so right now, that is a flex box, and we see what happens. You see when we do this, like the columns they just become thin, and it is not looking that good. Yeah, so the first thing we can try out is called flex wrap. And we say, please wrap the content. By wrapping, it means that in case the columns are very small, there's a possibility of one going down, like one of the content going down. With that, what I can do is let me duplicate this so that I have many of them inside here. Yeah, let me just comment and I say duplicate. Shall maybe remove them after. So now you can see that I'm having very many columns. I try to reduce, since I've said wrap. Okay, I need to reduce slowly. As you can see, now you see, there are 6 of them. When I set text wrap and they can't fit, one is going to go down. You see, where you will reach a moment and some of them, the other ones, go down. Now this will depend if they have the same width. If they were all having flex 1, let's put flex 1, flex 1, flex 1. Yeah, like that. Then we come back and yeah, they are all flex 1, flex 1. So let's reduce. You see that it will go, it will add one items when I try to reduce the width up to somewhere, then others start to drop down. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 2 have gone down here. When you reduce more, the 3 come down. So that is what they call a flex wrap. Yeah. So let's remove the duplicate. Yeah. So here I've just due to the interest of time and just for demonstration purposes, I'm just using that content, but it can be an image. Yeah. So it can be an image that when someone is viewing it from some screen, it will go down. Yeah. So now let's, another thing you can do with Flexbox is you can change the order of these items. You see, this is box 1, box 2, box 3. But I can change the order and I say I want this one to be the first one here. How do I do that? I do with the order property. So I'll come to box 1 and I say order, and I say this is number 2. Then I also have to come and attach order to this other one. So I can say now box 2 is number 1, then this one's going to be number 3. Okay, so where we see box 1, it should be in the middle. So let's check. Yeah, so now you've seen that I've put it in the middle, but here in my HTML, it's not in the middle. In my HTML, it's not in the middle, it's the first one. Yeah, so Flexbox can allow you to rearrange or reorganize your content. Okay, so those are some of the things that we can do with Flexbox, but there are many. Actually, when you try to apply it in a real website, that's when you will see like a difference and the usability for it. Now, let's look at what they call media queries. Yeah, so what is a media query? A media query is something that you can put a condition. If my screen reaches this, please change the layout to this, or change the width of this content to this, or change the background color. Yeah, so we're just going to try out with a very simple code. We can actually get it from here. Yeah, so there are some parameters that you have to specify. This is how it is written at media, not or only. So you can have only or not. Then the media type, and then the expression is like the content, like minimum width, maximum width. Then you write the CSS code. So in case this condition is met, then the CSS code will be executed. Because it is not met or it's not certified, the CSS code, try one. So the media type, it can be screen. That one applies to computer screens, tablets, and phones. But it can be print. That is for printers. Or it can be all for all media, like devices. Yeah, and last one, which is so rare, is for speech. It's used for screen reader that reads the page out loud. So I'm just going to try media type called screen. So we're going to type media, then we type the type of the media to screen. Then we're going to say and. So I'll come here. We're just going to first write it outside. So then, yeah, we're going with screen. Then we're going to put a condition. So if you say and, it hello? Okay, hope you can hear me. Sorry about that. I think it is network. Okay, let's continue. All right, let's resume. So we are still writing our code. We want it to be a screen. So we're putting a condition that should be a screen, and then minimum width. This is how it is written, but you can write there is maximum width. There's a lot. So here what we're trying to say is that in case it is a screen and it has a width of not less than, so if I say not less than 500 pixels, what should be executed? Yeah, so that's what the code, that's how you write the condition. Yeah, so now all the selectors which are written inside here will be executed if that condition is true. So if I get all this, like if I pick all these flex container, what, and I put them inside here, it means that they will only be for the ones the minimum width is 500 pixels of the screen. Yeah. So just to demonstrate to you, I'm just going to change the background, like the background color. Then the background color changes to blue. Yeah. So actually we need to wrap this around the selector. So I'm going to choose the whole body. Yeah, like that. So whichever selector I've written, maybe this, you can cut it and put it inside the media query. So it means that if that condition of the media query that you've written is satisfied, then your content is going to be styled the way you want it to be styled on that particular screen. Yeah, so I'm just going to demonstrate on the color because it's something easier that you can see, but you can do a lot. Like in case the screen is small, please change the flex boxes to display one flex 1, flex 2. Then in case maybe the screen is very large, just display flex 2, flex 2, flex 2, like that. Yeah, but now we're demonstrating on the color. So I'm going to say minimum width of, okay, 500 pixels. So we go back to our page. Yeah, now this one is already blue. Why? Because the width was already exceeding 500 pixels. Yeah, so the condition that I've written here is if my screen, so I'm taking this as a screen, if my screen has a minimum width of 500 pixels, means that if my screen is above 500 pixels, please change the background to be blue. Yeah, so I can actually write another one. Okay, we're going to write another one with the maximum width, but let's first see this. So if I adjust and it reaches 500 pixels, should change the background color to blue. Yeah. So now when it reaches 500 pixels, it changes to blue. Yeah, like that. So that's how media queries work. You put a condition, then you put what should be executed. Yeah. So if I can copy, and I can copy all this. Like I can put this and I put them inside here. Yeah, I put them inside the media query. So when I go back to my site, now the rules will be followed when it has a minimum width of 500 pixels. Now, if I reduce the pixel size, now it's no longer following the flexbox. It's no longer following these codes. So it will only display flex 1 and flex 1 and this one flex 1, then order 2 and order 3. Once the screen is larger than 500 pixels, that's what it means. So once I go larger than 500 pixels, now you're going to see the color will change, and also the content will be displayed according to the flexbox. Yeah, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on that. I told you because we're going to be using Bootstrap, and it does it in different way, but you should be able to understand what it means in case you find it somewhere else. Yeah, so that is media queries. I've told you I've just demonstrated on colors, but it's not only about colors. It can be anything. It's not only colors, it can be anything. Yeah, so now we're going to, let me comment this out. Then we get introduced to Bootstrap. All right. Yeah, so we've looked at Flexbox. We've not looked at other layout models, but you find them out about, especially the grid. You find about the difference between the grid and the Flexbox. Yeah, so now we're going to go to what they call Bootstrap. So this is going to be just a simple introduction about Bootstrap. So what is Bootstrap? So Bootstrap is a framework, but a framework for CSS. What does that mean? It means that, you see the CSS we've been writing here? For Bootstrap, it has all that CSS already written for you. But for you, you just need to write HTML, then you just include the class. So now just imagine this box 2 was already styled this other side. So I'll come to the division and I just say class is equal to box 2. So I don't need to write this style CSS. And that is Bootstrap. Like it is just CSS written for you. That's all about it. It's just CSS that is already written for you. Now there are different ways that you can start using Bootstrap. One of them is you can install Bootstrap on the computer. That is by downloading. So I already have files that are already downloaded here. We're going to look at them. When you download it, it will look like this zipped file, which is called Bootstrap. Then the version, so the latest version is 5, Bootstrap 5. It's what we're going to be using. Yeah. Then when you try to extract these, if you extract them, you're going to find that inside there are just 2 folders. There's CSS, then there's JavaScript. So first ignore the one of JavaScript and we only look at the one of CSS. So you see that this one has a lot of files, but most of those files, they just have CSS that is already built for you. So in order for you to include it, all you need to do is that every time you open a new project, copy these 2 folders here. Now I'm going to create a new project here and I call it Bootstrap test. Yeah, it's going to be inside here. So within here, paste those 2 folders. Once you paste them, now create other files like index.html, all of them, create them here. So I'm going to open Visual Studio Code, my editor from here. Yeah, so you can see that I already have these 2 folders. So on it, I'm going to create index.html. Now you can have other folders for images, what and everything. Yeah, so the structure of my project is this. So that's how you get started with Bootstrap. We've not yet included it, like we've not yet looked at the code, we've not yet included it. Yeah, so you have your file, then ensure that within the CSS folder, you have some files. Now you don't need all of these, but I'm going to show you the ones that you need most. There are only two. Yeah, which one is that? It's not that you don't need others or like others are useless, but for now, we're only interested in what they call bootstrap.css. So look for it, this one. It's called bootstrap.css. So now you can see that this is already Bootstrap, the normal Bootstrap that has been written for us. So you can see that the body is having a margin 0, font family, that font size, font weight, line weight. So it is being given already the properties. There's another class, there's another class called HR. It also has different properties. Now you can see here H6, H5, H4, H3. They have all been styled in a certain way. Yeah, so it's just normal CSS, but it has been written for us, like it has been compiled, already written for us. So all what we need to do is for us, we write the HTML and we include these classes within that. Yeah, so this is what we need. Then another that you can need is called bootstrap.mini.css, this one. Now this and this are the same, but this one removes what they call white spaces. What are white spaces? You see here, like this space that has nothing, that is called the white space, as long as there's nothing written in it. So this one increases the size of the file. So bootstrap.min.css goes away with the white spaces. So it is the same code, but there are no white spaces, like there are no spaces within the code. So this one makes it to be light. So in case you're launching a website, you use this one. Don't use bootstrap.css. Why? Because we need the website to be very fast. So as you include and delete all these other ones, they can be used somewhere else, but for now we don't need them. And also don't include this. You can, but we've talked about the size. We can come here and check just to be sure. So it's called bootstrap.css, which is this one. Here I can see the type is cascading style sheet. So you can see it is 191 KB. Okay, you may say that is very small, it is very light. But let's check this. This is 152. Yeah, so this is 191, this is 152 KBs I'm seeing from here. So it is lighter than the other one. Yeah, so we've said now on your project here, we have our project, which is Bootstrap test, this. Include those two folders. Then within here, you can delete other files as long as you have bootstrap.css and also bootstrap.mini.css. Yeah, so the next step is for you to call those files to show that they should be included. Yeah, so it is the normal of adding link. Then the relationship is a style sheet. Like I've told you, Bootstrap is not so different. Just that someone sat down and they write very nice CSS. So we don't need to rewrite our classes. So link, the relationship is styled at CSS, then type is text, then CSS. Then after that, we need to give the source. So CSS, then we've said that we need the bootstrap.css, which may be down here. Okay, I can just type it. We have that. Then I can just include both, but I've already told you like they are all the same, just that the other one is lighter. Style sheet type is text stroke CSS, then href, the reference CSS stroke, then look for bootstrap.mini.css. Yeah, this one. Yeah, now guess what? That means that you already have CSS in your project. That you already have Bootstrap in your project. Now you can start using these classes. Let's go to bootstrap.css. Then you can start using these classes. Today, we're not going to use them. We're not going to code anything about Bootstrap, but I just wanted to show you how you set it up. Another way you can set it up is called a CDN. A CDN is a content delivery network. So in case you use a CDN, it means that instead of writing this, instead of coming to the file here, and I write these ones, remember these are location, they are located on my computer. I can just refer to an online file. Yeah, so we're going to comment here and we say CDN using Bootstrap CDN. Yeah, like that. Then you always come and copy it from online. Someone is asking, can you jump straight from HTML to Bootstrap? No, you've seen, we need both. It's not that we've learned CSS, now we don't need Bootstrap. No, we still writing HTML, but now we're not going to be writing our own CSS. We're going to use the CSS that is written within Bootstrap. Yeah, it's not, okay, you can, from HTML, you can go straight to Bootstrap without you learning CSS, but you'll find it hard. You need to first understand how CSS works, because now when you look at this, I think you can understand what is going on. Why? Because we've so far written our own CSS. Yeah, but if you go straight, then it won't be easy for you. Then another thing is that we can always have our custom CSS, like within here. Under CSS, I can add another file and I call it custom.css. Then I also add it here. So for some things that Bootstrap doesn't have, or I want it my own way, I can still do my own custom CSS. So I add it here, called custom CSS. So in case I want to have my own background, like this is body, and say that I want my body to have a different background color. And I say maybe this. Yeah, we're going to test it and see. So that will be taken from your custom.css, as long as you don't use the same names for the classes, because these classes have their own names. So if you use the same names, then there is going to be contradiction. Yeah, what happens later, there's what they call CSS specificity. Yeah, I'm not going to tell you about that, but it will just do some calculations and it will take one of the two, but always avoid using the same names as has been used by Bootstrap. Yeah, so this is the first way of including Bootstrap. Another way is using a CDN. We always come and copy it online. So just come here to Bootstrap, then click on Get Started with Bootstrap. Then they will show you how do you include that CSS. So copy this. This is a CDN. That is a content delivery network. Just copy it. Then you come and put it here and paste it here. Yeah, it is very long. Yeah, but you can see that it is connecting online. HTTPS cdn.yesdeliver.net npm bootstrap what. Yeah, then the relationship is a style sheet. Then it adds more properties. Yeah, so either you can do this by adding these two files, or just this one, mini.css, or you can use a CDN, this one online. Now, which one is better? When you're developing offline and you know that you don't have internet always, then use this. Download and use this first option. When you know that you're always online, then that's when you can go with this. Because if you use this one and you offline, your Bootstrap is not going to be working. Why? Because the code is hosted online and being referred to online. So it is better you download this. Maybe when you're producing what they call production, as you are launching a website, you can change from here to this. Yeah, they always have the same class names. There's nothing big that changes. But as long as you know that now I'm launching a website, every time someone is accessing it, it will always be online, then you can go away with uploading the files with these ones, because the website will become heavy, and you just put this a content delivery network. So those are two ways of updating, of including Bootstrap. Now, let's look at how our site is looking like. Yeah, what we're testing is that we've said that having Bootstrap doesn't stop you from having your custom CSS. Yeah, so if you have your custom CSS and put some, you include it here also. So let's comment out this to avoid confusion. Yeah, I've commented out that. Then we come and look at our page. Now you can see the background color it has. The background color it has is from custom.css. Yeah, so us having Bootstrap or having already some of these already written out doesn't stop us from having our custom like CSS. Then another thing that I want to tell you is that me using classes instead of IDs. Why? This is a reason. See, if you have a div and there's some content here, then let me put also other divisions. I'm just going to call it same content. Let me type it in capital letters, and maybe it is a paragraph. And I say same content. Yeah, I'm going to also have another one, another div, call it same. Now you're going to understand why I'm using that. So you see, if you use an ID, an ID can only be used once. Like if I call it my ID, and I come to custom CSS, and I say, I remember for an ID, we don't use dot, we use hash. So I'll say my ID. Yeah, then I start styling, maybe the font size, and I give 50 pixels. Let's check and see whether it has worked. Yeah, so you can see 50 pixels has worked. Now this is big than these other ones. Okay, so you see this, I cannot put it somewhere else. Like here, I cannot copy this and I put it like maybe in this. Yeah, that is wrong. It is not, it doesn't, fine here it may work, but it's not written like that. So the best thing to use is a class. For classes, I can call a class on this. I also call the same class on this. Yeah, so I'll come here and I say class. Then I can say my class. I'm just going to call it my class. So I can go to this another what, and I say class, my class. Yeah, so you can see that here. Okay, we have class, my class. We have the same classes. So if I come down here and I style that, it's going to apply to the other content. So let me just change the font. Let me see font style. And maybe you have italic. And also I change the font size to be large, just that. Come and check. Yeah, so you can see that the modifications has affected both. Now, there is also another advantage of using classes. In case I have another class here, maybe this one just makes them bold, not bold. Let me add class. Yeah. So here I'll come and type in font weight, and I say I want it to be bolder. That's bolder, so that it's so bold. When I come and check, there's nothing which